Hello. Making a clay video, and I want to continue talking about the subject from yesterday. In the end of the video, I said drugs are never an option, alcohol is never an option. So it's like something you need to write on the wall, to something that really needs to be understood. And it's impossible for me to cover all of this in 15 minutes or even in hours of videos. But that's why I want to talk about this subject in the future as well, in future videos, and eventually I can make hour-long videos again. And then I will be talking about this for many hours into the future, because this is such a complex subject and so much that is built on so many mechanisms in society that have derailed, that have gone wrong. So that's why, people need to understand, first of all, it's not necessarily their weakness that they can't quit the drugs. Teal Swan talked about this as well and said some very important things that people need to understand, that it's not because you're bad or you're weak or you're selfish or whatever people want to attribute to themselves or to their own personality and character. It's not a character weakness. It's pain that drives people to take drugs. Unimaginable pain that people just want to numb. They want to not feel that pain. And Jiddu Krishnamurti and David Bohm talked about this subject of why do people want to escape from facing that what is, from facing the truth, within themselves, and the all the stuff that's connected to the truth, to that situation that is happening in the very moment. In the very moment of each moment of years and generations. Okay? Generations and generations back in time. Okay? And they were trying to wrap their heads around in those conversations where all of this started. Where did it get derailed? Where did humanity get derailed? How far does it go back? They were wondering, did it start when religion began, or did religion begin because that happened? So which one came first, the chicken or the egg? So it's kind of like that same philosophical debate, so which happened first, and when did it happen, and how did it happen? Did it happen at once, or did it happen gradually, and what happened before that happened? So what's the causality of the causality, dating all the way back? How did people become neurotic, where they started to not give their children the love that they needed so desperately in order to live a sane life with a sane mind state? Okay, so what is a sane mind state? All of these things I want to discuss in my videos, because I don't see people discussing this very much. This pretty much gets ignored by most scientific or psychological debates. I think Jiddu Krishnamurti and David Bohm come very close to these subjects. Of course, they get into these questions. What I would like to add to that conversation, it's like a call across dimensions now to them, because both of them are not in the physical. They died a long time ago. so in the 80s and 90s, and they were both very old. So my contribution to these very, very, very long-lasting conversations that went on for many decades, for I would say over 40 years, that David Bohm and Jiddu Krishnamurti were talking about this. In many, many discussions, and many of them were recorded and put into the Krishnamurti archive, and the people that work for that, great people, put it on YouTube. It's in the public domain. Everyone can watch those uninterrupted by commercial. No commercials are allowed. It's non-profit based, and I recommend those conversations really to every single person, because they really go down to the core of what is responsibility also, All of these philosophical themes, ethics, all of this, love, nurturing, being a mother, being a mother doesn't only pertain to having your own biological child. That pertains to having any living being in your custody, okay? So any living being who is dependent on your love. It also extends out to your life partner or your best friends, family members, the world, the whole world, and by whole world, I see a lot of people when they say the whole world, they seem to only have the human, the Homo sapien in mind. By the whole world, I mean all beings and all existences, all plants, animals, humans, the human ape, the other apes, the four-legged ones, all fungi, plants, insects, sea cucumbers, very passive ones, very active ones, and out into space, So that's what I mean by whole world. So it's not limited in some kind of 3D coordinate system that's closed up. So no, it's unlimited. The world is the infinite cosmos. Okay, so, and everything that's happening in there, and there are worlds, and there is life out there, guaranteed. I guarantee this, because we're dealing with infinity. So, infinitive possibilities are there, and that brings also to mind the Heisenberg principle, the calculations by Dr. Georg Cantor and Tesla and many other great minds, Elon Musk. So many great minds, many great astrophysicists, mathematicians that have wrapped their minds around this. And all of it meets at different ends, all of these different science fields are also interwoven, because everything is interwoven. So the most important thing in this conversation is that I wanted to reach out to Jiddu Krishnamurti and David Bohm across the dimensions and to all beings out there, is to say that the most important energy, the most important fact, the most important behavior and mind state is the mind state of unconditional love, and the behavior that results out of it. of unconditional love. Okay. Actions of unconditional love is what must come into the world. Eduard Pestel, who was a mathematician, a professor, and a politician in Germany, I have known him personally. It was a great honor for me to have met him and visited him in his house, because his wife and I were very, very close friends. She was my child therapist, and out of that came a friendship that was very, very, very deep. Like, she was like a second grandmother to me. So, and he said it after every presentation he has given. He gave presentations worldwide. He was also a diplomat trying to create peace, and he was giving lectures on mathematics. And he was probably going very deep into all of these fields too, of infinity and all of this. His entire life is a subject that is by itself is so complex and so wide and multifaceted that ties also into all of this what I'm talking about. I wouldn't even know where to get started with this now. That would also take me many hours talking about his life, but I want to do it in future videos. Just want to say that after every lecture he said, but if we don't bring love back into the world, then we as a species cannot survive. We cannot make it. And he kept on saying this and saying it and saying it. Everywhere he was on stage and giving lectures. It is the most important instance there is. And that is what Jiddu Krishnamurti said is the infinite cosmos, the blue God. Jiddu Krishnamurti himself was the embodiment of that. It was the infinite cosmos embodied in a live, functioning, living being. That was Jiddu Krishnamurti. That's why he didn't have any ego. There was no ego at all. And people were very puzzled about this. And that's why he was discovered by Annie Besant in Adyar, South India, and was made the head of the Theosophical Society. But he declined it because he didn't want to be the focus of this, and then people just becomes another religion, so then people give up. They're very quick to give up. Maybe I'll make 2 videos in a row about this, so I just have to watch the minutes, because these are such important themes. There is no way I can limit this to 15 minutes. No way. This is so complex. So, because all of it is interwoven in such a way that it becomes difficult to even keep talking about this in a linear way. So, because it branches out. Wherever, after every sentence, there's like 10 branches that reach back out to the other sentences. So, every subject is branched together in a humongous network. Okay, so I'll make another 15 minutes. So I'm gonna have to cut this video off right here. See you in the next video. Take care.